Hey horror fans, welcome back to Motion Filmy. If you're tired of the same old jump scares and predictable plots,
this is a trick. Oh my God.
then stick around because today we're diving into some of the most underrated horror movies that deserve way more love. So grab your popcorn, dim those lights, and let's get started. Number 1. Hereditary. First up, we've got Hereditary. This movie is a masterclass in psychological horror. And trust me, it's not just about jump scares. Directed by Ari Aster, Hereditary follows a family grappling with grief and the terrifying secrets that begin to unravel after the death of their grandmother. The horror in this movie creeps up on you and hits with a gut-wrenching twist. Toni Collette's performance is nothing short of phenomenal, and the film's unnerving atmosphere stays with you long after the credits roll. If you're a fan of horror that makes you think and leaves you unsettled, Hereditary should be at the top of your watch list. Number 2, Sinister. Next on our list is Sinister. This one is for those who love a good supernatural mystery. Ethan Hawke plays a true crime writer who moves into a house with a dark past, only to find a box of eerie home movies in the attic. As he dives deeper into the tapes, he uncovers a terrifying pattern. The use of found footage in this film is brilliantly executed, adding an extra layer of dread to the story. Plus, the soundtrack is downright chilling. This movie doesn't get enough credit for how genuinely disturbing it is. It's a slow burn, but the payoff is definitely worth it.
You have 5 seconds before the door is seen. 5, 4, 3.
Number 3. The Watchers 2024, A Night in the Woods You'll Never Forget. Next up, The Watchers, directed by Shyamalan. Based on A.M. Shine's novel, this 2024 release has already divided critics but is still an intriguing watch. Imagine being stranded in a vast, untouched Irish forest only to discover you're being stalked by mysterious, unseen creatures. It's a slow burn.
Applause for you,
But if you're a fan of creature features and atmospheric tension, this one's for you. Dakota Fanning leads the cast, and while it's not perfect, The Watchers offers some nail-biting nighttime sequences. Plus, if you're into movies that explore the idea of surveillance and being watched, this one has some interesting ideas, though it leaves a lot to the imagination. Number 4, It Follows. Coming in at number 4 is It Follows, a modern horror with a unique premise. The story revolves around a young woman who, after a strange sexual encounter, finds herself being pursued by an unknown and terrifying entity. What makes this movie stand out is its allegorical take on horror, where the fear itself becomes a metaphor for various real-life anxieties. Plus, the cinematography and retro-inspired soundtrack add an unsettling atmosphere that makes the whole experience unforgettable. It's a haunting, slow-burn horror that really plays on the idea of inescapable dread. If you haven't seen this one, it's definitely a must-watch. Number 5. Midsommar. Finally, let's discuss Midsommar, another gem by Ari Aster. While it might be considered more art house than pure horror, Midsommar is packed with a disturbing narrative and visuals that will stick with you. The story follows a couple who travel to a remote Swedish village for a once-in-a-lifetime festival that quickly takes a sinister turn. What makes this movie truly unique is that it takes place almost entirely in broad daylight, which is unusual for horror films. The brightness and beauty of the scenery contrast sharply with the horror that unfolds, creating an unsettling viewing experience. It's horror, but it's also a deep dive into themes of grief, relationships, and the human psyche. So there you have it, 5 underrated horror movies that are guaranteed to give you chills. Have you seen any of these films? What's your favorite underrated horror movie? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more horror movie recommendations. Until next time, stay spooky.